school, we are going to be applying for, I call it the Ben Lucarelli plan, the circulation and the bike plan around. When I became mayor, he took me to Starbucks and he told me all about it. We're going to do it in Eatontown. So a lot of great things happen, but if I can give you one hint, it is local, organic growth. Leave the elected officials out of it. Do it by committee.
It's worth noting and underscoring the fact that the way that our Complete Streets groups have come together is very distinct. In our case, we had that sense of urgency. We looked for people to help us out. We went into the community. In the case of Eatontown, there were various entities all saying the same thing. Then the mayor pulled them together to create an organization, to create a group. So Kathleen, with that, I'd like to pass it on to you in Point Pleasant Borough and your unique take on things.
Thank you. Is this on? Yes. Okay. My name is Kathleen Ebert. I come to you as a mother in a community in Point Pleasant Borough. I had gone back to school in the, excuse me, of course I'm coughing. I went back to school back in 2008 after I moved to Point Pleasant Borough. I was familiar with it. My grandparents had lived there for decades. But I had gone back to school. I went for interior design at Brookdale and discovered architecture classes that led me into planning classes, and then I transferred to Rutgers to the Boston School and graduated in 2016 with my bachelor's in planning and public policy. So that's my little background, but along the way I did some research and studies and projects based mostly on Point Pleasant Borough, and due to my small children in the family, I'm home with them, so I was trying to find something I could do in my community to make it better and use my schooling and whatnot. So I formed a Complete Streets advocacy group called Point Pleasant Borough Complete Streets, and I have been basically just trying to garner more numbers of people to be interested and go to meetings and get involved. And I've been doing all this through, I figured the low-hanging fruit was like education and awareness. I set up tables we have an Earth Day celebration every year, so I'd set up a table, and in the past the Greater Mercer TMA would come and help, and now they're working with the town, which is awesome. But I go and do that and just spread awareness on like what Complete Streets is, and like how if people feel like they want the town to be more walkable or bikeable, and like what that means and everything like that. So I started the group about 3 years ago just to really promote the benefits of Complete Streets and how implementing projects in town would benefit Point Pleasant Borough. And I really saw a need for it through research. Over the past decade, we've had over 160 crashes with bikes and pedestrians in our town. It's pretty sad. And it's a very bikeable and walkable type town, so it's really been a big factor of speeding, and we need slow the cars, which is a theme throughout most towns. We've had some successes so far, which is great. As an advocate, I feel like I've been like the little birdie in the mayor and council's ear. Like I go to meetings and suggest things, and while they don't really let it be known that our group is kind of like doing it, it's like their projects are starting to get done. They're taking it more seriously, which is great. Our town just got awarded last fall with gold recognition for safe routes to school. And it's all things that our group is kind of doing behind the scenes, like we're doing walk audits and little things like that, like the checklist that the town, the council, mayor weren't really doing. So we're doing that, and they are doing things as well, but in combo, it was gaining better recognition, like the higher level in the safe routes to school recognitions. The police started a Street Smart campaign, which is great. So they're really, working to enforce slowing the cars and spreading pedestrian and bike safety awareness as well. Last year we had the Greater Mercer TMA and the police participated in a bike rodeo, so the entire third grade population was educated, and they did it during school hours, which is awesome because then it hit all the students. So that was a great little success. That, I feel like as an advocate in your town, like a really important thing was like working as a liaison in the background to get the right actors involved with the right people, and it really has been like successful at getting little projects done and whatnot. Overall, there's been a lot of great little successes like that, but there was one that I was a little disappointed in. There was a big a repave job on Bridge Avenue, which is a main arterial. It's a county road, and there's room, according to the people in the know, that there could have been bike lanes, but they narrowed the travel lane to 11 foot, and now we have really big wide shoulders that have high speed passing, which is a big disappointment. It's like talking to a wall sometimes, I feel like, as an advocate, because I was trying to, try to suggest these things, like to get bike lanes and all, and it just didn't get to the right people, so. Anyway.
Kathleen, thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah, I think where you're going now is where we have all had some frustrations, maybe some successes, but we're all moving in the direction of and educating our city leaders and the community as to how we really have a need for complete streets in our cities and towns. Kenny, I'd like to pass it on to you. Kenny's the subject of an award-winning documentary called Bike Rhythm, which I'm not really sure where you can find it, but it's really beautifully done. He's a bike commuter and has some stories to tell about Neptune City.
Hey, everybody. Neptune City is different from the other towns. It's a suburban, it's not a beach town, it's not a city. It's a suburban town with car culture. And they really do not respond to any. We live a half a block from a dangerous road, Memorial Drive, Monmouth County Road. And I would describe the road as social engineering. It's there to keep people from walking from the west side to more exclusive towns like Bradley Beach or Avon. And it's been maintained as such. So dangerous. It's everything like that people here are against. 4-lane road, no shoulder, 45-mile speed limit. Very, very dangerous road to walk across. So that radicalized us. When we were up against this thing, it was a very, very frustrating thing. To us, it's like, how can you leave this road like this? There's an accident once a month, people get hit by cars, and they shrugged it off. It's always been like this. That was the most common thing that we hear. So when I hear like all these people that are like new to their town, that's why we're getting things done. Because the people that live there say, oh, it's always been like this. They don't do anything. They accept it. So, we didn't accept it, and our story is just not too many successes. It's full of, you think I was making this stuff up. We put signs out, slow, drive like your children live here or whatever. And it really caught on. Our whole block did it. So the town chief of police was offended, and he threatened to give us all summonses and took them down. He said it was a safety threat. It was distracting drivers. So, that's the kind of thing we're up against. He told us to stop complaining and move. This is the chief of police. So our story is completely different from the mayors on the board. We got hassled for it. They gave us summonses for fences being too high. Really hassled me and my neighbors for complaining about a dangerous street. So, some people get things done. Maybe this road something's going to happen. It's a Monmouth County road. I think that our message got through, not because of the town, just because of us. We went beyond. We found out the DOT was doing a walking audit of the street. So we tracked them down and we followed them and told them, look at this road. It's a moat. It's not a road. It's a firing moat to keep us from going over there. But and I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to reconfigure the road, make a road diet or whatever. But for us, it's been an uphill thing. There's mayors on this. In our town, the most common thing for people to complain about it, at a town meeting is speeding traffic. But they are not listened to. You know, there are people that complain about traffic are treated like cranks. You know, like, move. If you don't like it, move is the attitude, really. But I think we have a new mayor, we have a new chief of police. I'm on better terms with these guys, but I mean, it's really, in our town, it's a big uphill battle, completely different from the beach town, totally different from Asbury Park, just a mile away. Nothing like Red Bank or Rumson. There's just no money, and no one really wants to do anything. It's a car culture place. They would rather be able to speed around, I think. So, also there's one other thing. There's this, like a regulation or rule that as long as 85% of the drivers are within 5 miles per hour of the speed limit, then there's really no problem. And if you trace back that regulation, it was sponsored by it's a lobbyist for road builders. And the fact that it's still being used 50 years later